The Big Show on Kiss 92. Gotta get up.
Good morning, Singapore. Welcome to the biggest and best breakfast show in the world. We have a familiar face we haven't seen in quite a while.
Yeah.
From Career Agility International, she is the co-founder and chief. Good morning, Yen.
Good morning.
I'll call you chief really from now on.
So happy
Chief.
to be here. Oh, I love that.
We love you being here, and we love the topic even more. She's talking about handcuffs today.
Handcuffs.
Handcuffs.
Not, not in the way you're thinking.
Hey, look at
Oh,
Glenn's
no.
eyes light up.
Oh, I was all ready for this.
Ready for what?
Handcuffs.
Golden handcuffs too. You
Yeah.
love gold, right?
Yeah.
Glenn?
I love
Go
gold.
with your mic.
Golden handcuffs.
Oh, yes, that's right.
Is it
matches.
the same as a golden handshake?
No, it's not. So the golden handcuff is something that a lot of our clients sometimes face. Where they come along and they say, I'm institutionalized. And I hear that and I'm going, what? It's like, 20 years in the same company and they feel kind of trapped, kind of stuck. And they're wondering, how do I find more? Because I need more. I need to grow. I need to try something new, but I'm handcuffed. And then I put the word golden because it's a comfortable handcuff. I mean, it's prized. So you are trapped, but you are comfortable. Well, it's not fuzzy.
I was gonna say, is there like
It's not-
cushioning and
it's
like
not covered cushions.
no? Okay.
Monetarily
But I
comfortable.
get, so they feel that there's a very, very, very high exit barrier, and they're not able to extricate themselves.
So they want to look for something new, but not necessarily move out of the company. So is it new within?
It could be both.
Okay.
It could be both. Generally, it refers to getting out of the company. And so in the years that I was headhunting, we would see people who have very choppy backgrounds. For instance, every 2 years, they're switching jobs. And then at some point, people say, no, we don't like job hoppers, right? But on the other end of the spectrum, there are also those very, very long stayers, the ones who are 21 years in the same company. And I'm trying very hard to pitch this individual into, an opportunity.
Yeah.
And it's really, really hard. There's a psychological blockage somewhere in the hiring committee. They're not keen on someone who's been in one organization for a long length of time. And I can see you're thinking, what would be that optimal
Yeah.
point that I can leave? I get this from a lot of young people. They go like, so at what point can I leave my first job to get my second job? How
Yeah.
long do I need to stay in my first job? I don't have an answer.
Oh, okay.
I don't.
But 20 years is too long? No, right?
20 years is too long.
It's too long.
Especially if there are very few roles. So if you have only had one job, times 20 years is actually just one job.
One job, yeah.
Yeah. So if you've had a 20-year career where you've had multiple moves, different countries, multiple
Yeah.
promotions, different projects, and I think that could still be a case.
So the
good
20
story.
year in the same position is considered a job, not really a career, because you haven't moved anywhere, right?
Well, you can call it whatever you want.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
institutionalized.
I remember a few years ago there was this trend in Melbourne where people who had stayed in companies for 10 or 15 years and wanted to move couldn't find a job.
Yeah.
And the reason given was you don't have enough
Experience.
experience.
Yeah.
All you know is this one thing. You're a leopard and I'm not going to waste my time trying to change your spots.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think the new way is to not get too attached to one company.
Well,
What do
I
you
think
think?
it's okay to be attached if that was your career strategy, and that this is an institution I would see the rest of my life in. Then I'm happy to be here. It's a rational decision. And then what do you do with the rest of your life? Don't come to me later and say I want to.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm looking to leave. I think we've got to have a career strategy, and that's why at Career Agility International, that's what we keep talking about.
But things have changed, right, Yen? I mean, during our time, we've touched on this before. We've stayed in the same company for so many years. But then again, this is a different industry that we are in.
Yeah.
But for the younger generation right now, would you subscribe to them, job hopping a little bit more? I know it's it sounds bad to say job hop, but
No. Again, don't hop. What we want to do is to build a career story, a career.
okay.
And so let's, for the sake of argument, say that you started your job and you've been in this one role for, oh wow, okay, the red card's
The
up.
rate cuts up.
Okay,
We'll
okay.
continue this conversation on the Big Show TV. How about that? Meantime, here's Kylie Minogue with Someone For Me on Kiss 92. Okay, picking up from right there.
Yeah, so we're building a career story, and when someone looks at your history, they need to see that there's been growth, that it makes sense. So if you have job 1 for say 2 years, job 2 for 2 years, job 3 for another 18 months, and then it collapsed, and then another. So after a while, if you had 4 jobs, each for
Under
a
10
length
years.
of under 24 months, it becomes a problem. So the first 2 job moves is not a problem. So if someone has had, say, 3 short stints, then the 4th stint should have some length of service.
I see.
To be
okay.
able to show
Some
the
credibility.
ability to stay the course.
Longevity.
Because again, I think a lot of this is psychological. Again, there's no truth that in certain markets you can't be doing 2 years. I think that's fine if that happens, because again, in different industries, different markets, that's the way the cookie crumbles. So if but what we are looking for is, I guess, a level of that stability and growth within the job. So
Right.
what we're looking for probably as a hiring leader is, okay, this person's been in this role say 8 years with 3 promotions or 2 promotions. That's a good sign that this person is credible.
Yeah, because I was just thinking, like, for us, although you say our jobs are different, there's always growth. No matter what, you can move up to management, you can move up to music director or program director or whatever it may be, and still be on air. Same thing for, say, Singapore Airlines steward or stewardess.
Yes.
They can start off as entry level and then move up to chief and head and
Yeah.
whatnot, right?
Yeah.
Whatever the
Yeah.
level,
Yeah.
and pilots and all that. So, but there are certain jobs that people just don't seem to move anywhere in.
yeah.
They stick to that for long. I know of
Yeah.
a couple of people. So unhappy though, but they won't move.
And there's this, so back to the cabin crew example,
Yeah.
which is a great one. You can do sideways growth, horizontal growth. A lot of them go into training. A lot of them also do other things in operations, possibly because there's possible, because the organization's big enough
Yeah.
that enables them to move
Yeah.
around, which
Yeah.
is a good thing. But yes, you're right. There are those who have been in the same role for a long time. They're really unhappy.
Very
They're
unhappy.
expressing their dissatisfaction, their discontent, but they can't leave.
They won't go
And
anywhere. Yeah.
There are so many reasons for it, psychological reasons, emotional reasons, and financial reasons as well.
Can't move because they won't get another job as well, because they've been in that role for so long. I mean, I know if there's one particular person, and if they're tuning in, they probably know I'm talking about them. So
What's his name?
I'm not talking about you, okay?
What's her name?
No, cannot. But every day kind of griping, I'm so
Yeah.
tired of what I'm doing, but I can't go anywhere because been here for so long. Job
Yeah.
is, money is good, this and that.
Yeah.
But so unhappy.
So when they say they can't find a job, they can't find a job with the similar
That's
level
probably of comfort. Yeah.
of knowledge, of the familiarity.
And it's scary to want to
probably-
go out.
That's
and-
right,
And
that's right.
People were going to reject you as well.
Well,
the
yes.
possibility of someone rejecting you is.
Yes.
We were just talking about this the other day over dinner with someone, and that is really a very valid fear. I've been here for 25 years. Can I cope with this new culture? Can I cope with these new people? I'll just stay where I am.
It's a mindset. It's a huge
it is.
mindset shift.
That's the thinking.
And on that note, right, I like to talk about how I use the analogy of when someone plans for a job switch and they're applying for jobs, they're going for interviews, and they land. It's like a wedding. But they fail to plan for the marriage, which is
And having
which
the
is-
children and,
and
everything
the
else.
challenges that come with the initial landing in a new role, in a new playground, with new people, with information that you are not privy to because you weren't there when it happened. There are all sorts of things, and then you accidentally step on the mine and it blows up, and
Right.
you're like, I'm sorry, I'm a rookie. But how many excuses can you give for being a newbie? And that's why a lot of the work that I do also helps people land well. So it's not just about looking at the job, because there are some organizations that look really attractive on the outside, and then when you join, you go like, okay, gosh, I didn't sign up
All
for
the
this.
under-
oh my
Right.
God,
lying
yeah.
stuff,
Like
yeah.
I said, right, the grass is very green because the
People water
fertilizer. That's a good one. But also the fertilizer is very deep.
Yeah, this is true. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a good point though.
But
For
in-
people who are like attracted to an offer,
Yeah.
and then after that, you go to the company, and then you realize, oh my goodness, the culture is like, so different.
I think this is particularly important for the young to understand. I can't even count the number of times in the last couple of years people have gone, I'm going to move because they're offering me so much. And I've turned to them and gone, you're moving for the money. You're not going to learn anything. You are not going to improve. It's just dollars and cents.
But do you know that for a fact or not?
Yeah, because I know where they're going.
Because
I know where they're going and I know what they're doing.
Okay.
Yeah.
And sometimes you've got to think that extra bit of money, which is more important, the extra bit of money
Or your happiness.
or growing your portfolio as you move.
It depends how much more money.
This is true as well.
And it's usually not that much.
And depending on your life stage, that's very important because
Yeah.
if you were younger, then you should be looking at growth.
Yeah.
But if you're older, the money is not a bad thing. But
Yeah.
I like to call it the stress per dollar graph.
Let's talk about that.
Let's talk about that.
Talk about that.
on air.
Stress
The
per
stress
like it.
per dollar graph.
Grenade, this late night conversation 잠들지 않아.
Kiss 92 traffic.
On the TPE towards the PIE, right before the Pasir Ris Drive 12 exit, a lookout for a broken down vehicle. Also on the PIE heading towards the airport, an accident has been reported after Pasir Laba. Avoid lane 2. If you spot anything outside of those situations, WhatsApp us 88550920.
Welcome back to The Big Show and The Big Show TV. We are with Yen, and she is from Korea Agility International. And you can follow Yen and Adrian at The Korea Strategists on Instagram. Okay, so... Oh, wait, hold on. Hold mic.
As well as Spotify.
As well as
As
Spotify.
As well as
Yes.
Spotify and LinkedIn as well.
Yeah.
At The Korea Strategists. Okay.
So, yeah, we were talking about something we were about to jump into something
Yeah.
very interesting from the Big Show TV that you mentioned, the stress per dollar graph. What
Well,
exactly
it's
is that?
Not a graph, it's stress per dollar, full stop. Right? When you think about it, right, it's like what if FD was saying, when you leave for more money, are you leaving for also more stress? Because with more money comes
more stress.
For every dollar that you make more, maybe you get an exorbitant amount of stress. I don't know how you would measure
Calculate it,
stress
yeah.
per unit. And so is that worth it? But it comes with growth.
Yeah.
So that's again another conundrum because there's so many facets to it, and we have another word for the stress. We use another S word, the S per dollar graph.
Right. Okay.
Oh,
Okay,
right.
I get it. Yeah.
You look at the graph. Right now, for every 1 unit of stress, you get 1 unit of money, your compensation, and then if you take the new task or the new project or the new job, and it is a steeper gradient. Is for every dollar you get like double the stress.
It's like a line that goes straight up.
I don't know about you,
Yeah.
but I'm looking for more money and half the stress.
I think everyone's looking for that.
Especially as you get older, right? You don't want more stress. You want more money.
We don't
but
want.
you
I never liked
stress.
more stress.
Yeah, nobody wants more stress.
And that's what I think it was 2 weeks ago. Adrian was saying, we always ask our people, do you want a new job? Yeah, I want a better job. Do you want your boss's job? The answer is no.
No. Yeah.
Too much to handle.
We
Yeah.
get a lot of it. Again, this is all anecdotal. Don't have any statistics to prove it. But to our listeners out there, if you're thinking about jumping into a new role and the new role seems too good to be true, they're paying you a lot more money, ask more questions because something's not quite gelling. You know, it's a little bit sus. It's like, okay, what's going on here? What do I have to do to make that amount?
Well,
know?
they usually say if something looks too good to be true, it usually is, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
ask all the questions.
Especially those scammy jobs on WhatsApp.
Yeah.
Yes.
Something's wrong. You know, they go like,
Yeah.
oh, you can make this much per hour.
Yeah.
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 Yeah,
So,
take all your
if
clothes off.
anyone has any questions about making a jump, whether or not that opportunity makes sense, please think about where your career strategy is headed. And as FD was saying, look for the growth, look for the opportunities that will provide you the experiences you need for a longer game.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Maul has come onto our
He's played a very long
Yes.
game.
A very
Yes.
long game.
It's
Still
Yes.
playing this game.
Yeah. Malt's come on our Facebook page and she said something very interesting and I just want Yen's comments. I stay in one place as long as I like my boss more than I like my job.
Oh.
That's a big one. Yes. So she's not wrong. Many people, like we were saying about the handcuffs, there are psychological, emotional, and financial reasons for staying, and that's an emotional one.
Right.
So I have a client who's worked with a very senior leader for 15, 16 years, and he can't leave. He just couldn't leave because there's this obligation.
Right.
And the boss has this attitude like, hey, I brought you up. I gave you this opportunity. You are what I made you.
Or you could just really get along with your boss,
That's
right?
another
That's
level.
a flip side, right?
Yeah.
As well.
You could. I
Yeah.
mean, because then it becomes a partnership.
Yeah.
And it becomes
And-
more bearable, even
Yeah.
though
And
you
then
don't
life
like
is
the job.
good,
Yeah.
things are great until
The boss leaves.
he retires.
That's what I was going to
And that's
ask.
it.
What
Yeah.
happened?
Then what
Exactly.
happens?
Then
Exactly.
your boss
You
is
won't
gone, and then
survive.
you sit there and you go, "Oh, I actually hate what I do."
Yeah.
That
Or-
person made it bearable.
Because everyone has got a different journey, and so you can't expect your boss to stay until you retire.
Yeah.
Nor can you expect your boss to not leave until you're okay. And
Yeah,
so
yeah.
that's very, very challenging.
And sometimes when the boss goes, the new boss that comes in
Organizes
shuffles and
everything.
reorganizes
Yeah,
everything,
yeah.
and you may not have a job anyway.
And that happens a lot as well. And so that's why we call ourselves career agility, because you have to be
Agile.
You have to see the train wreck that's coming and learn how to sidestep.
Okay.
Let's talk about bosses, and when you've got a new boss, what should that boss do? Let's talk about that on the Big Show TV. It is 8:20.
Kiss 92 Time Check brought to you by Pu Tian.
Since we're on that topic,
Yeah.
So, is there a right and wrong way for a new boss, to take over? Should the boss come in and make like drastic changes, changes immediately, or should a new boss just come in and observe for a while? What do you think?
Yeah, there are so many contexts to that. So context matters, which is why I'm going to end up saying it depends.
Okay.
Because if the line manager has been tasked to take over an organization or a business unit that is in trouble, he doesn't have time to observe. He has to quickly
Sinking ship, right?
Yeah, yeah. And so there are people who are tasked to do turnarounds.
Yeah.
And so that is time sensitive, in which case, hey, get started, so they might make some massive changes. And how that would go down depends on, again, whether or not there's resources to help support the movements. But in general, one of the best bosses I had in my career, he came in and he took over the team. And the first thing he did, but he didn't observe for a year, it was less than a quarter. So he was quiet for a bit, but he had a lot of one-to-ones. So he would sit down and he would ask 3 questions. What do you want more? What do you want? What do you enjoy? What are the aspects of your role that you enjoy the most? And then he goes, what's one thing you would change? And so by asking just very 3 basic questions that led to a whole host
everyone.
of other things, and then he would revisit. And then at the end of the quarter, he says, okay, so this is my observation. Start doing, stop doing, do less or do more. So it was it was very
Right.
simple, because the business was we were in recruitment, and it was a fairly straightforward business. So it wasn't complicated. But I can imagine that if the organization was, massive and complex, then it won't be so straightforward.
Yeah.
I have a question for this sinking ship situation.
Yeah.
Like, as somebody who's brought in to sort of restructure everything, throw all that water out that's been holding the ship down and stuff like that. Is it possible from an employee's perspective, because there are good employees there as well,
Yeah.
how do they prevent themselves from not getting sacked? Because sometimes they just chuck out the whole company and then bring new people in.
Are you talking about your friend
How do
again?
you no how do you save yourself? No, because I'm just thinking, there are always good apples, right?
Yes.
But because everybody else is quite crap at what they do, how do they save their job and prevent themselves
That's
from
really
getting
tough.
sacked?
And so it is about being consistent in the work that you do. And you have to also remember, it's not just the technicalities, the soft skills matter.
Oh,
And so
okay.
you have to be visible, and you have to be saying the right things and doing the right things. But
To the
then
right people.
To the right people. And that's really hard to do sometimes because you've got your peer pressure and maybe, everyone's whinging. So that can be very hard. But I think if you are consistent in your technical
People will
abilities,
notice, right?
People will notice your work. Make sure almost always, the one thing you can control is to produce good value, good output.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a given. So, and then that's visible already. Everyone knows, okay, of all these people, if I had to do a ranking,
That's the person I would save, kind of thing.
if I
Yeah.
had to do a ranking. But then the world is very unfair, and there's always going to be that subjectivity. And so a new leader comes in, maybe it's better just to clean the house.
Yeah.
Right? Maybe. Because even if you're good at what you do, what if there was some level of that disgruntlement that you might accidentally say something, so then you might influence the new people and
Chemical clean the whole place.
Yeah.
So again, I wish I had a standard answer for that because I think that's what everyone's trying to get to. But yeah, when it comes to human dynamics, it's complicated.
Do you find more and more people disgruntled in their jobs?
I think people who've never really had massive exposure are generally quite unhappy,
Yeah.
even though things are good. That's why we get the reports that says Singaporeans are very unhappy and the most burnt out. But I'm like, that's an interesting one. Is it because we've got it so good here that we don't know any worse? There's no comparison. And so I'm just wondering about that sometimes because to the bulk of the people I meet, a lot of them are doing okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or maybe they're just hiding their pain. It's
And
very
who are
hard
they
to
asking
tell. Right.
as well? Yeah.
Yeah. So
People can't be
if
trusted these days. You
if
really
a
don't
reporter
know.
on the street, right, were to go to any stranger today, 10 people, just take 10 people and go, are you happy in your job? My chances on answer would be, no, not really. Because they're always thinking could be better.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
if
And then
you-
it'll reflect so badly on the country.
But people are unhappy in their jobs because this is my take. Yeah, people are unhappy in their jobs because they don't know how to communicate properly with the people around them. That does lessen a lot of your stress.
You
It
think so?
does. It
I
does.
feel people are unhappy with their jobs. This is my perspective because they're not getting paid enough to live the life that they want.
But you will never get
because-
paid
No,
enough.
because our cost of living is going up.
Yes.
Wages aren't. So if that doesn't match, then people will never be happy because they used to be able to buy all that stuff and now they can't.
And we're small. And
Yeah,
we're
so
crowded.
that's why I feel because they're not getting paid enough.
But seriously, at the end of the day, and I always remember this, my first boss told me this: I can never pay you enough to make you truly happy.
Yeah.
Because the more I pay you, the more you want.
But I think happiness shouldn't be connected to
It shouldn't
salary,
be. That's what he
because
was trying to
it's
say.
a state of mind.
You don't connect happiness to your money.
Or I think they have an undiagnosed thyroid condition. So I was listening to yesterday.
Right?
Yes.
yes, absolutely.
You know,
It's like, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy, right?
Yeah.
you know why I think these people are disgruntled? Mostly, the disgruntled ones are the ones who don't drink.
I think you may be right there too. I
We
think
need to
you're
right.
get everyone happy.
So I think all the alcohol companies need to go out and do some community service and start giving away drinks. Winston's
drinks for
Wait. This is derailed.
no, Winston has come on. I want to go back to the emotional part. This is
Yes.
very interesting. Winston said, I left my job to get another opportunity to work with my ex-boss. And I'm much happier now.
because
It's
he's
that
probably
connection.
grown as well.
It's that connection I think you have with people.
And also because your previous boss worked with you before, you know each other's patterns.
Yeah.
There's a familiarity, and the biggest thing of all, there's trust. That's huge. So you could be the most qualified person for the job, but if I don't trust you, it makes things very awkward. And so the trust factor is huge, but also now the leader that pulled him over, because I took you out from a well-paying job,
Yeah.
right? You were stable. I brought you into my world. Now I have an obligation to help you succeed.
This is true.
And that's huge. That's an emotional kind
Yeah.
of handcuff if you will.
That's huge.
Okay, going back on air.
Kiss 92 traffic.
Okay, taking a look at what's happening on the roads. On the TPE towards the SLE after the Pongal Road exit, avoid lane 1. An accident has been reported. And also remember that breakdown in the CTE tunnel. This is towards the AYE right after the Orchard Road exit. Not a great spot for a breakdown. Avoid lane 3 or don't take that route if you can. And also on the PIE towards the airport before Kallang Way, another broken down vehicle. Wherever you are this morning, stay safe.
Good morning and welcome back to The Big Show and The Big Show TV. It's Thursday's edition. Today we're joined by Yen from Korea Agility International. And if you would like to get in touch with Yen or Adrian, you can do so at info@koreaagility.org.
That's right. Yay.
So here's the question I have for you, Yen. People, if they're looking to change that job, they've been here for like 15 years, but they know they need to change. They want to do a bit of growing. They want that last final spurt before they retire. There must be a kind of strategy to that, right? What sort of time frame, what sort of strategy should they have?
Well, the best time to start is now.
Yeah.
And when we need the results, we wanted it yesterday.
Yeah.
So in terms of a strategy, so if you've been in your role a long time, I think it's good to dig deep and do a career review, figure out what were the really I guess high value transferable skills. So the thing about skills is that everyone talks about them as if it's binary. It's not. Skills are complicated and contextualized, and it can be like highly that you can be a subject matter expert or you can be just a novice. And then when coupled together like Chinese characters, they mean completely different things. So skills and competencies are you put that with experiences and you couple that with a lot of achievements that you've done, those are going to be, I guess, your career levers, the things that you can leverage to sell yourself for the next job. So, I mean, we'll start there. And then there are a whole host of other things that's going to be contextual. Reach out to me.
Back to this golden handcuff situation that you were talking about.
I want to get a pair of golden handcuffs. I mean, real golden
you want them for a
handcuffs.
totally
Go on
different reason.
Shopee or something to
So
look
make
for
sure
it.
you have a golden key to go with it,
Right.
just in case,
Yeah.
So back to the golden handcuffs and back to my imaginary friend that's been in their job for that amount of time, right? So if somebody like that, who has been in a job for so long, comfortable because of the salary, this and that, but absolutely hates it, actually leaves this job, how feasible is it that they find a job because they've been there for so long, their age is not playing in their favor? And whether we like it or not, there is a lot of ageism in the workplace.
There is.
How feasible is it that they will actually find a job?
I've always been very pragmatic, and I've always pushed against ageism. That there is, but if you play the game the way it suits you, your age shouldn't matter, because I've been successful in helping 67-year-old person land when they got retrenched at 66.
Nice. Wow.
And the oldest person I placed with commission was 65, 63,
Amazing.
something to that effect. And if you think about it, the way we live today, we're healthy all way into those golden years. But
The employers don't say.
no,
think
I have
that
a
way.
big but, because lately I've noticed that our older clientele is taking a longer time to find something,
place.
and that there's a significant difference that I've noticed at about 50, 45, 50. So yeah, they're taking a lot longer as well.
At 45, 50.
Yeah.
Oh,
Things
okay.
are so those that have landed quickly have already been doing the visibility, and they're already out there being updated, and they know people, they know they can
Networking.
mobilize their friends and their contacts. But those that are finding it hard, because they don't have all of that, coupled with market sentiments, you know, how things have been kind of depressed in 2024. So they're finding it a lot harder, and a lot of them are feeling the.
I mean,
But
they're
then- but then-
old. They're not as versatile as they were
That's
before.
not true.
You know, I feel
No.
like sometimes the older ones, right? What they want to do is, and you cannot expect them to be as, you know, as energetic as
That's not
hungry
true.
I
as-
don't think that's
No,
true.
that's not
Really?
true.
I
That's not
reject
true.
that. I
Yeah.
reject that. But on your note, I have met people in their 40s who talk like they're 82, and
Yes.
met like 60-year-olds who are still like 30.
Yes,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah,
So it's
yeah.
not blanket
Yeah.
statement for
Correct.
everyone. Yeah.
Yeah.
Correct.
Right. Wow. Just hearing you say that about the, you know, the oldies, you know, but obviously
Stop pointing at me when you say
sorry.
She's like, I reject
I feel
you.
a bit tired now. Because I'm thinking about myself at the age of like 65 and all that. I'm not working already. I'm playing golf.
So it's very subjective. Like for someone
Yeah.
like you, okay, maybe 65 is considered elderly. But for someone who is 65 and still looking for a job in the workplace, it is
Yeah.
still
No,
young
it's
and
not.
it's still
But
got,
who's
you know.
to say it's got to be defined as a job?
As a
job?
number,
It's,
yeah.
no, it's not elderly. I'm just thinking like at 65, I don't want to work so hard anymore.
No, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know I'll still be energetic and everything, but you know, at some point, I'm not going to be on par with like the other guys who are, you know, working.
Okay.
I should be king. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, it's okay.
Okay, let's continue to talk to Yen on the Big Show TV. Jack Harlow is next. This is First Class on Kiss 92.
It's kind of like Mike Tyson and Jake Paul. you
It's
know?
a red flag.
He should really just be playing golf.
It's very interesting on our Facebook page. People are comparing following a boss from one company to another to following you and I from one radio
Station to another.
That's the emotional handcuff.
It's the emotional handcuff. Yeah.
The comfort zone.
Yeah, yeah,
The I think the familiarity is a huge factor.
At some point, don't you want to be a boss?
I am a boss.
No,
No, it's
not
not
yours.
this industry.
I was like, I want to
In
be.
this industry,
I want to be an
Not everyone.
honorary radio boss.
no. I don't want to be. I don't want to be a boss in this industry, but I do want to teach in this industry
Okay.
at some
Yeah.
point.
What do you want to teach?
I want to,
Reading the news?
no
Public speaking?
No, not public speaking. I want to teach people that there is more in them than they believe.
Yeah.
So it's got nothing to do with radio.
Yeah, exactly.
But I use radio as the basis.
You want to be a motivational speaker?
No, I use radio as the basis.
Yeah, but that's from your experience.
From
so
my
are you
experience.
training them to become radio presenters?
I'm training them to have confidence in themselves.
So it's motivational confidence speaking. Yeah.
I wouldn't call it motivational, but yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah.
But that's what
Based
I
on your experience
Based on-
as a
yeah.
radio
Yeah.
presenter, but not necessarily for them to become radio presenters.
Yeah.
Confidence builder. Right?
I can
Trust
also
builder.
conduct the course like that.
Yeah, what's it called?
But I'm too lazy.
No, you know what? You need a PA to arrange everything. You just turn up and
Just
show up and
yeah,
be
yeah,
yourself.
yeah.
That's all it is. I mean, you don't need like a syllabus. You can just talk because that's what you're gifted.
Well, I
with,
just
you know?
I just want to like, you know, for me all these years I just want to do radio and then, you know, go out and MC events or shows or whatever, and maybe I
Talk.
used to like going on TV and
So that
hosting
is
and
my,
acting or whatever.
That is my my definition of retirement. When you stop doing what you have to do
and do what you
and
want to
you
do.
do what you want to do.
Yeah.
But this is what, you know, we
Want to do.
want to
Yeah,
do
we
and
want
have
to
always
do
been
this,
doing.
yeah.
So I always look at it like this, right? The 4 hours that I'm
Yeah.
on the radio, that is my main job.
Yeah, for
and
sure.
everything that comes along is a bonus.
Yeah, of
Yes,
course.
Yes,
Yes.
gravy
You
on
know,
top.
but this
yeah.
has always been my base.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And my job. So, yeah, but unlike you guys, these guys are hustling and stuff like that. I'm too lazy to hustle.
No, because for me, this has never been my main job until 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
You know, I
Yeah.
haven't been in radio that long. I was in radio X amount of years, but I can't say that I've had the longevity that you guys have had because you guys have done it for like 30 years.
Yeah.
But I've done media for 30 years, but
Yeah.
all the different aspects and all
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
But now I feel this is something I could do maybe for another, I don't know. I'm not going to put
Don't say. Don't
I'm not
say.
going to put a number two. I'm not going to jinx it. I'm not gonna,
You
Don't
feel like
worry.
you can keep it up, right? The
Let's just
pace is
say-
good.
for the foreseeable future.
Foreseeable
yes,
future.
yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah.
You know, FD and myself almost became Catholic priests. By the
Yes.
way.
that's
Yeah.
right.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah.
you
But
say
then,
this.
what do you say? Money's not enough, is it?
Hey!
No.
But you've got
Then
all
on.
that space to put money in.
It doesn't mean you get it.
No one knows that you've
Would've
got
been-
a belt.
No,
Would have been really good because there's meditation, there's prayer.
And there's no tax.
Oh, I like it. Is there meditation? Isn't the prayer considered meditation?
No,
It's not meditation.
It's not
like
meditation.
meditation.
as a-
Reflection.
It's
No.
Reflection, yeah, because you wouldn't say I meditate like a Buddhist monk, right? It's different,
No,
right? It's
no.
a different term.
It's a different term. Yeah.
Too picky with the terms.
No,
Well,
because it's true. I think it's very segregated in that sense, right? I think. Okay, let's not.
you
talk
never
really-
wanted to be a nun.
No, absolutely not.
Okay.
No, it was never a vision
Why
of
didn't
mine.
why didn't we become priests then?
You like girls too much. That's what it is.
That's one reason.
I like boys too much. That's
That
what
is
it
true,
is. Yeah.
That is
Hillary
true.
David says today's topic is exactly where I am right now in so many ways, and I'm trying to figure out what to do.
Oh,
So we're connecting with Hillary for sure.
nice.
Nice.
Thank you for
So
tuning
since
in.
we're talking about Catholic priests and all that, right?
Yes.
Are you Catholic as well?
No.
Okay, you're not Catholic. So let's say a Catholic priest comes up to
Walks
you.
into a room.
A Catholic priest decides, okay, I don't want to be a priest anymore.
Yeah, what happens?
After being a priest for maybe 30 years or whatever.
Yeah.
Are they allowed?
No, of course, I mean, things
Yeah.
If you
happen,
lose your
right?
calling, yeah.
Yeah. So let's say the priest approaches you and goes like, "Can you help me?
Yeah.
Look for something to do."
Yeah.
Would
So
it-
we dig into the career and drill down into aspects and elements that brought them joy. Very Marie Kondo.
Even if the career was
For a
always
career.
religious.
The
The
same.
same,
You would,
yeah.
you would have the community engagement, the mentoring, maybe the
Logistics, this and
counseling,
that, yeah.
maybe the events. So there are a whole host of those
Planning.
things. And so when I was in junior college, my literature teacher was an ex-priest.
Oh, really?
And then he taught lit for another 20 odd years.
Okay.
Married, and they never had kids, but he was the
Wow.
best teacher ever.
Wow.
And he also took sex education, which was very interesting.
So he was still religious, spiritual in that sense, but just not on that path.
Connected
Yeah.
to the counseling and the mentoring and the growth of youth, which was great. Because
Amazing.
I think that was great.
If-
There's always transferable skills.
Yeah, there's a lot of transferable skills coming out of the priesthood. Like, for example, I just discovered that there are certain branches of the priesthood where there are lawyers, engineers,
Of
doctors.
course.
Yeah.
They are trained lawyers.
Yeah,
they're very
priests.
educated.
Because they went to school.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not everybody started at 12.
No.
To go into, you
No.
know.
So it's there are a lot of transferable skills. So, yeah.
That's why you didn't qualify to be a priest, is it?
No, I never quite had the calling, but I've always said that if I wasn't doing this, I probably would be a
But you
missionary.
Bro,
must
you
have the calling.
he's got that charisma, no? Can
Yeah,
you
he does
imagine
have
him
some-
in the cassock,
Yes.
right? Like I always say,
And
just
that
right,
voice as
coming
well.
out and
He had a dream of me becoming the Pope.
It's true. I'm telling you, if he's a priest, he would probably be like our archbishop or something.
Yeah, I think so as well.
Oh, no.
I
Really?
think so, yeah.
No, sorry, cannot. Don't have that. I don't have that ability.
Priests allowed to drink?
Yes,
yeah,
of course.
yeah.
They're allowed to drink? I don't
Wine.
At
I mean,
communion?
everything,
Only wine, no gin?
everything, within controlled limits.
That's
but-
for everybody.
Yeah. So
Don't say
I
anymore,
mean,
Irene.
that's for
I
priests.
just said red wine.
Oh, right. Okay.
Look at him. Look at this guy.
I won't say anything.
Can you?
I don't understand.
It's like an inner circle.
It's an inner circle
Oh,
thing, yeah.
okay. I'm
You know
not
what I
part of
mean?
that.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
fine. I feel so
Whatever
left out now.
happens behind, father's house stays behind.
Stop it. What happens behind Father's house is the altar boys and the choir girls.
That is true.
Oh my goodness! Wow.
Oh, we're getting a little off track
Oh
here.
I
my
think
goodness.
so.
Once in the Catholic news, not enough, huh?
CatholicToday.com.
Yes, I will be brought up this
Good
weekend.
morning to all our fellow Catholics tuned in.
Kiss 92 traffic.
On the TPE towards the SLE after the Pongo Road exit, avoid the rightmost lane. An accident has been reported. On the Bishan flyover towards Lorne, another accident after Bishan Road, avoid the right lane. And on the CTE towards the AYE after the Ang Mo Kio Avenue 1 exit, also avoid lane 1. Another accident has been spotted. Wherever you are, stay safe.
Good morning and welcome back to The Big Show and The Big Show TV. On the show today, we have Yen from Korea Agility International. And earlier on, we were talking about, the Catholic faith and the priests and all that. Please don't get angry, okay? We know this for a fact. Like, a number of priests are tuned into us
Yes,
in the
of
morning.
course
all
they
the
are.
time.
We do, yes.
So, fathers, can you all go in front of your TV screens and just go,
Just bless us real
bless
quickly.
us? Bless us, please. We love your blessing.
No offense.
This is true.
Okay, so golden
Handcuffs.
handcuffs. That's what we've been talking about, today. We've got to wrap things up, in just a while. Anything else regarding golden handcuffs that you want to talk about?
If you feel like you're stuck in your role and that maybe you're finding it difficult to get out of it, first of all, figure out what it is that you really want, and then figure out the key transferable skills, and then reach out to me for exit strategies. Because there's sometimes we are thinking, the barrier to entry is very high, but actually there are many organizations where the barrier to exit is also very high. And then it takes time to kind of figure out how to put your ducks in, align the ducks so that you can, get started on implementing your new career, your new life. Yeah.
You
There's always hope, right?
You certainly
Always.
don't want to be, on the losing end, especially since you've got golden handcuffs on. So the exit strategy, like what Yen mentioned, is so very important. So
Yeah.
I think you better seek professional help. in this
info@careeragility.org is
Thanks
the
for the
email.
plug-in.
Thanks so much, Yen, for joining us.
Yay!
Thank you.
It's 4 days.
4 days.
No, wait, two days. Wait,
Two
it's
what?
Thursday. Weekends.
No, it's one
very-
sleep to the weekend.
It's
One-
here.
You
That's
know
what
what?
it is.
I
It's
just
here.
need a coffee.
Already.
Okay.
It's
Happy
here.
Friday.
The weekend is upon us. Thank you, Yen.
I look up from the ground to see your sad and teary eyes. You look away from me, and I see there's something you're trying to hide.